CSS is a wonderful thing. When you really use it and play with it and take advantage of the cascade, you can easily achieve very interesting things. And in this video, we will take advantage of the CSS cascade using OxyProps color schemes. And just before we start into Oxygen, I really wish to thank you for joining me again for this video, and I really hope you will have some fun. So we are in my WordPress dashboard. That's a fresh install. I haven't opened Oxygen yet. And here I am on OxyProps settings. As you can see, I am running version 1.2.2, which is not yet available for update, but that will be just after I release this video. And I have selected a custom color scheme with colors I picked up from a random palette here on colors, and I used the midnight green as my canvas color, the geranium lay as my brand color, the yellow red as my links color, and the metallic seaweed as my visited color. And here you can have a look at the resulting color scheme and the color swatch. Let's just have a look at the plugins. I have of course Oxygen 4.0 installed, that was just released a few days ago, OxyProps version 1.2.2, and I also have Metabox installed. For now it's just installed, but we will use it a bit later in this video. So let's start by creating a page. Let's name it Color Schemes and edit with Oxygen. Here we are in Oxygen, and as someone told me earlier today, it can be a bit confusing where you are used to Oxygen because my system is configured for dark mode, and when opening Oxygen, my canvas here is dark because OxyProps by default adjusts to the system preference. So if your system is configured for the dark mode, you will see a dark canvas. If it's configured for light mode, you will see a light canvas. And have here somewhere in the builder, maybe in the top menu, a toggle to switch between light and dark modes, so you can easily switch between the different modes while developing, is on my development roadmap. And of course, as I did check on my plugin settings, the options to replace Oxygen settings, all my settings have been populated with OxyProps framework values, and I also have the 3 OxyProps color sets that have been created for me. And as those are logical colors and linked to user preferences, my brand, link, visited, and canvas colors are defined according to the custom colors I did set in my plugin settings. Okay, so let's have a look at those color schemes OxyProps offers. And to start with, I will add a header builder, and I will just use a single row, and in my builder, let's add an OxyProps light and dark toggle so we can play with it. Let's drag it to the right because that's where I like to have it. And let's add some vertical spacing on my header row by adding a class O-pad-BL because that's a block padding I want to add. And let's go for size 2. Perfect. Let's save. Command S in Oxygen 4. Awesome to have this keyboard shortcut natively in the builder. And first, let's add a section. And I will define for my section a background color because by default the section background is transparent, so that's your main document background color that you can see here, the body color. So I will add a surface 1, and we shouldn't see anything because surface 1 is the logical color used by OxyProps normalized system as the default for your canvas. And as my system is in dark mode, that's the dark version of the surface 1 I can see. In my section, let's add a heading. I want my heading to be my brand color, and okay, let's use a new feature I just added to 1.2.2. Maybe you saw me in previous videos adding some lorem ipsum text using a shortcut like this one. But as OxyProps target is to help you save time, I did add a context menu to the content field in Oxygen, so you can right-click and choose how many words, sentences, or paragraphs you want to add. So as a heading, I will go for 3 words, for example. Perfect. Let's add some text. This one will be a single sentence. It will be a size 1 and a text 1. And let's add a second text. This text will be a text 2 for the color. It will be a font size 1 maybe a font size 0, yes. And let's add a full paragraph, or maybe more, 3. That's perfect. Let's add some spacing to our section with a gap of size 2. And let's add some text links. I wrap it with a div, duplicate my text link. My div will be horizontal, middle alignment, with a gap of 2, maybe 4. For this one. My first text link will be a button, simply by adding the class o-btn. My second link, and actually let's duplicate it once again. This one will be a button, but an outline button. So this one has two classes, the o-btn class for the button basics and the o-btn-outline for the outline specifics. And my third one will simply be a text link, but I like to add to my text links an after with the content of a double quote with some margin to the left. Let's go for a size 1. Perfect. And let's save. So we now have a section using the different elements of our default color scheme defined with the custom colors for our plugin dashboard. And let's have a look at the front end. And this is what it looks like on the front end. And one of the beauties of OxyProps is that out of the box, by using my light and dark toggle, I can switch between light version and the dark version of my site. And OxyProps automatically selects from each of your color swatch the color intensity that will match the color scheme. So for our brand color, we have a lighter version of our red, and you can see also that the same color is used for the text selection. My text is a light version of my canvas color, and my link is a light version of my link color. If I switch to the light mode, the system uses a darker shade of our red, dark shades of our canvas color for the text, a very light shade but the same hue for the background color, and a darker version of our links color. So that's already very interesting, because you see that just by using our logical colors, brand, text, surface, link, the system adjusts by itself to the user system preference. And when you insert the light and dark OxyProps toggle, in addition, it records in the user local storage in the browser the user selection, so that next time your user visits the site, it remembers user preferences. So even if I have my system configured to dark mode, if on the site I did choose to see the light version, next time I visit the site, I will see the light version. Let's go back to Oxygen and now duplicate this section. And the only thing I will do is select my section and add a class o-invert. Let's save and back to my front end. Let's refresh. And now we have our two sections. We are in light mode. So my first section follows the preference. It's light when my system is light. It's dark when my system is dark. But you can see that the second section, just by duplicating the section and adding this class o-invert, well, does exactly what you would expect from the name of the class. It inverts the color scheme. So it uses the light scheme when the preference is set to dark, and it uses the dark scheme when preference is set to light. Pretty nice, isn't it? So maybe if you like it, you could press the like button. And now let's go back to Oxygen. And let's duplicate my section once again. And this one, I will remove the class, but let's go to the advanced attributes, add an attribute. And for the name, once again, we have the context menu. Let's add a color scheme. And for the value, let's choose. So there's quite a lot, but I will go for user selection, which is what comes from your dashboard. And I will go for colorful. And just after that, I'll come back to explain what the other one does. Let's apply attributes. Okay, and you see that my color did change. So what the colorful color scheme does is that, by opposite to the standard one where your background and your text colors are defined after your canvas color, in the colorful mode, they are defined using light and dark shades of your brand color. So in this color scheme, the colorful one, using user settings from your dashboard, your brand, your background, your text 1, your text 2, and actually surface 1, 2, 3, and 4, use various shades of your brand color. So in this version, the canvas color disappears. So let's save, go to the front end, refresh. So we have our first section, light. We are in light mode. The second one, inverted, is dark. The third one, which is the colorful, also adjusts to the selection, light mode, and is in the light version of the colorful color scheme. And if I switch to the dark mode, you see that it follows the preference and it switches to the dark version of the colorful color scheme. Back to Oxygen, let's duplicate it, go to our attributes, and I said that I would explain what the other one does. So the first column let you select one of the color schemes, the one from your selection or the one for each of the OxyProps color presets. And by selecting one of these, you will have a color scheme that will follow the default theme using canvas colors for background and text, then brand, link, and visited for the other colors, and adjust to light and dark mode. If you use the colorful one, you will have the colorful version when canvas is replaced by shades of your brand color, and also adjust to light and dark preferences. And if you choose light or dark, you will force the system to use the light version of the dark version of it. So light uses canvas color, brand color, links, and visited color in the light version of them and will never change, meaning that it will stay on the light color scheme whatever user preference are selected. Same thing for the dark. It will stay on the dark version whatever the preference. Colorful light and colorful dark are similar, but for the colorful version. So if you want to adjust to automatically to light and dark mode, you will select either colorful or the name of your color. And if you want it to be in a dark or light version, using the canvas color, whatever the user preference, you will select light or dark. And if you want it to be always the light or dark version of the colorful color scheme, you will choose colorful light or colorful dark. The dim one is the low contrast color scheme, which is similar to dark but uses less contrast between the selected shades. It can be a preference for some of your users. So for now, let's not modify it and keep our colorful color scheme, but let's add on this one again the class invert. And I guess you could expect what is happening. It did invert the class, so it uses the light version of the colorful color scheme. Let's save and have a look at our front end. I'm in dark selection, and so this class is using the light version of my colorful scheme. Let's go back to the builder and duplicate our section once again. I will remove this class and change my color scheme, and I will choose, let's go for an indigo colorful, apply my attributes. And you see that this times it uses a completely different color scheme. It's a predefined color scheme. It's not using the colors I selected from my dashboard, but on this specific section, that's the colorful indigo color scheme that will apply. And what's very interesting in CSS when you use custom properties and that you use those custom properties as variables for your system and you take advantage of the cascade is that you can do very interesting things. So let's wrap all that in a div. Grab all of them in the div. Of course, I need to add a gap to this div now. So let's go with our size 2 and back to our section. Let's give it a class of grid2.1. Very simple. It uses a grid template columns of 2 FR, 1 FR. Perfect. So now let's add another div. And this div itself has a heading, has some text. It has a text link. And let's style this a little bit. My text will be my brand color, my font size will be my size 1, my div will have a gap of 2, a background color of surface 2, we will have a padding. Okay, for the video, you see I'm styling the ID But for an actual site build, you would create your custom class and style your custom class so you can use it wherever you want. So let's add some padding. I want my padding to apply everywhere. And let's say that I want borders with a radius of 2, and I want a box shadow. And let's go for a shadow 4. Perfect. So let's say we have a card. We could even add, why not, an icon. One of our wonderful font awesome icons. Let's drag it to the top and give it a color of visited. Perfect. And where do I go, will you ask? Well, my section is set to the indigo colorful color scheme, so by default my card uses the same color scheme, but why not going to my card, attributes, add an attribute, color scheme, and I want my card to be, for example, a gold colorful card. Apply, and now these specific color schemes apply only to this child. I could have, of course, another card, and this card can have a different color scheme. Let's say that I want it grape. Apply. And I could even decide to have as many nested levels as I want. Let's drag this card inside this one. We can wonder why we would do that, but okay, we could do this with something else than a card and change the attribute and maybe come back to our user selection, apply. And we now have in our page, using our default custom color schemes defined in our plugin dashboard, that's at the page level, we now have within this page a section with an indigo color scheme. In this section, we have a card with the gold color scheme, another card with the grape color scheme, and inside this card, another element with our user selected colorful color scheme. And all of them have been styled using the logical colors, my brand color, my surface color, my text color. And thanks to custom properties and the CSS cascade, the value of these logical colors is redefined at each level thanks to this data attribute. Let's save, have a look at our front end, and I will agree with you, that's absolutely not the best design we can imagine. But we have our cards, each one with its own color scheme for the brand, text, backgrounds, and the links color. And of course, if we switch to the light mode, we have the light versions of them for each of the color scheme. So now that's interesting. You have seen that using data attributes, we can redefine colors for an element. So let's go back for a minute to our plugin dashboard, and I told you that we would use MetaBox. So first, let's create a post type, and this will be very basic. We will have a new post type that will be custom cards. Singular will be custom card. Labels are perfect. Advanced, why not choose a card, because we are designing cards, and I don't want the editor, I want the title, I don't want the thumbnail, I don't want the thumbnails. And that's okay for it. Very basic custom post type. And let's add custom fields. Add new. This will be card fields. I will add a text field that will be my color scheme. And maybe you already guess where I want to go. It applies to our custom card. Everything else is perfect. Let's publish it. And now I have my custom post type. I will add a new one. And this will be my card red. Why not? And my color scheme will be red. Publish. I will add a new card. This will be my card blue, colorful. And let's go for a colorful blue color scheme. Publish. This one will be my card always dark green. And we will go for a green dark color scheme. And let's add another one that will be my card pink colorful. Color scheme will be colorful pink. How many cards do I have? 4, I think. Let's go for 6. I will have a card grape, always light, and it will be a grape light. And let's add a new one that will be a card colorful using user selected colors, and it will be my colorful color scheme. Publish. Let's check how many of them I have. Okay, 6 of them. Let's go back to our builder, refresh. And yes, back in our builder. So let's open the structure panel, add a section, the last one, and let's add the element we all love in Oxygen, a repeater. And let's go query our custom post type, which is our custom card. Apply the query parameters. We have 6 of them. Our repeater will be a grid 3. Very simple, grid template columns, repeat 3, 1FR, which means 3 columns of equal width. We now have our 3 columns. Let's add a gap, and let's stick with our gap of 2 or maybe our gap of 4. That's okay for the repeater itself. And now let's go to our div and style the card. We will add an icon, a heading, a text link, very original text links. Learn more. Our text will be a paragraph. Our heading will be our post title. It will be a H3. The icon will be the brand color. Perfect. The background will be our surface 2. We will add some padding. A border of 2, and why not using our link color for the border. And finally, let's add some gap, and we have our card. And now go for the magic, advanced attributes. Add an attribute. It will be a color scheme, and we will pull the data from our custom field, meta box field, color scheme, insert, apply attributes, and boom, each card is using its own color scheme, and this one is not great, and that's because we need to define the text color we want. So we want a text 1 for the title, and we want text 2 for the paragraph. Let's save and check our front end. We are in light mode, and here are our colors. This one is the user selected colorful. This one is always light. We will check in a second. This one is pink colorful, blue colorful. This one is red, and this one is always dark green. So let's check if this works as expected and switch to the dark mode. And this one colorful switched to the dark version. This one always light is still light in our dark mode. The pink colorful switched to the dark version. Always dark, okay, it's still always dark. The blue colorful switched to the dark version, and the red one also switched to the dark version, but it's not a colorful one. So you can see that it uses the neutral version, the canvas version of the background. And I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I do enjoy working on this plugin. And if you actually did like it, if you learned something, please tell me in the comments. Press the like button so YouTube knows that more people could be interested in such videos. And if you haven't yet, please consider subscribing to the channel for other videos like this one. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.